And as part of that reasoning, an extremely bizarre and fake intelligence report was produced, which was claimed to be a conversation between me and some people in the African continent, where it is alleged that despite raising money to remove President Zuma, I'm also accumulating supernatural powers to make people disappear. That is the reason why we got to, so we had to deal with superstitious issues as the basis of what happens, that there's apparently a head which I was going to be given to give to someone, and some people were going to die so that I can become president of Umkhonto weSizwe. That was the intelligence report, which were rejected with contempt and said that that is absolute rubbish, and said that if anyone claims to have my WhatsApp conversations, I can hand over my phone. I even offered in the meeting that take my phone and check not only the messages that you claim were about the removal of President Zuma, also check any other message about anything that I communicate as a leader of Umkhonto weSizwe. Because there's a principle which I always uphold, that there is nothing that I do privately that I cannot own up publicly. Nothing, including personal relations. There's nothing that I will ever do privately which we cannot own up publicly. And we accepted the redeployment to parliament with those misgivings that we're going to make people disappear in order to take over the leadership of Umkhonto weSizwe. And in a subsequent meeting post that, another fake report was presented which claims to be WhatsApp conversations between me and someone else, where I'm reported to be saying that, yeah, I'm going to use parliament now to take over the party. And I've got money from Stellenbosch, who are going to take over the party through parliament. They are taking me closer to where we're going to take power. And as a result, a decision was taken which was not yet communicated, that even this thing of parliament must not happen. In fact, the former Secretary General, which is myself, must be expelled from the organization. A letter was written and was put in the briefcase of the president, who said that he's going to dispatch it as and when he feels like to discontinue my membership of Umkhonto weSizwe. Those are actual facts in terms of the reason. And where does this come from? So the president of Umkhonto weSizwe, whom I dearly and so deeply respect, is surrounded by political scoundrels who opportunistically use his kindness, sometimes gullibility that comes with age, to write down fake intelligence report to influence him towards wrong directions. And the reason they do that is because they want to steal money from Umkhonto weSizwe. And they are doing so now. Withdrawal of not less than 7 million rand every month from the organizational coffers. That is what divided, and that is what, and we're talking about this because we raised it internally, that stop what you are doing, because you're going to get the party deregistered as a political party, because there's no sound reason on what has been happening, and it's things that we can prove beyond any reasonable doubt, not because it's things that you can change, and it's things that you cannot fake. And for that reason, when we raise, every TG who has ever raised that got to be removed as leadership of Umkhonto weSizwe. And there's no TG who has resigned as Umkhonto weSizwe. All of them were removed to then deal with scoundrels who surround President Zuma to steal money of the organization.
So the press conference that everybody's been waiting for, hosted by one named Floyd Shivambo. Floyd Shivambo, the former Secretary General of the MKP party. So he hosted a press conference today and to state the reasons as to why he was removed and what does the future hold for him going forward within the political realm. So here's what we learned from the press conference. Not a lot of surprises, but a few surprises here and there. One is that the party is so disorganized with the MKP, because everything is set up in a traditional format that Zuma is the king, that every decision goes to the king. Now, if you can imagine a setup of a king is that he's got advisors. Those who are closest to the king, they get to have his ear. They get to influence how he thinks and the kind of decisions that he makes and all that. So what we've learned here today is that Floyd Shivambo was removed as a Secretary General of the MKP party, not because of he broke or he violated the constitution of the party by going to visit Shepherd Bushiri in Malawi, as it were. He says that he was removed because of a fake intelligence report that was conjured up to suggest that Floyd Shivambo wanted to take over the leadership of the MKP party. He wanted to become the president. He wanted to remove Jacob Zuma. He wanted to usurp Jacob Zuma. He wanted to commit a coup d'etat and take over the party to become its leader. That is Floyd Shivambo saying that intelligence report exists within the MKP party. And this doesn't surprise me. If you think about it, Jacob Zuma is good at doing this in terms of conjuring up intelligence reports. Remember when Pravin Gordhan was removed as the finance minister? It was he used the same reasoning that there is an intelligence report that suggests Pravin Gordhan wanted to commit a coup d'etat in South Africa, take over the government, or remove Jacob Zuma as the president, as it were. And Pravin Gordhan was duly removed as a Minister of Finance because of the fake intelligence report. It never saw the light of day. Nobody got to see it, but it was there. So Floyd Shivambo, is not a surprise that he was removed because of the fake intelligence report. That's what we've learned here today. The other thing we've learned is that there is a lot of superstition within the MKP party. There's a paranoia in terms of if Jacob Zuma was to die tomorrow or was to become incapacitated, who's going to take over the leadership of this party? Because they don't go to conferences and all those things. Everything goes through him. And he probably needs to anoint a leader. More like what the IFP did. Mangosuthu Buthelezi, he just anointed Velinko Sihlabisa to become a leader and all of that. So it's a traditional thing that the MKP has got. So Floyd is accused as well of using Muti, that he was going to be given a head, a human head nochal. Can you believe it? For him to use the powers from there to kill certain people within the MKP party so that they don't rise up to high positions within the MKP party, so that Floyd can become the last man standing, as it were. So a lot of superstitions, lies, all these type of things. That's what we've learned from the press conference today. The other thing that we've learned from the press conference today is that there's a scoundrels, as Floyd calls them, and no surprises there. Look at the type of people that the MKP attracts. People with checkered past, people with clouds over their heads. From the president himself, Jacob Zuma, still got the arms deal case that he still needs to answer to in the courts. The deputy president, Hlophe, same thing. First judge in democratic South Africa to be impeached. Who else? Busisiwe Mkhwebane, the first public protector to be impeached, and all these things. And the courts always found against her because of her incompetence and all these type of things. Cloud hanging over her as well. Who else? Lucky Montana. Issues with SARS. I think he's owing SARS something to the tune of 40 million or something like that. Tax evasion. Transnet case. Siyabonga Gama, I think. That's the guy who used to be a CEO there. Brian Molefe as well. Both of them, they are MPs within the MKP. So you look at the kind of caliber that this party is attracting is very, very questionable. Hence, Floyd calls them scoundrels. I don't know why he excludes himself there, because he's got a case of VBS that is being accused of. What else have we learned? We learned that there is theft going on within the party. So Floyd alleges that there's something like to the tune of 7 million that is being stolen, that is being withdrawn in the coffers of the MKP party every month. Now, Floyd has been there for about 6 months. So you can imagine how much money has been taken out of the party and all those things. And he suggested that he alleges that all the treasurer generals who were treasurer generals within the MKP, that they were removed. They didn't resign. They were removed simply because they raised this issue of money being withdrawn, that this cannot be done, as it were. So, but they were not listened to because of those people. These scoundrels, they wanted to continue to steal. Those people were removed, and I think Jacob Zuma goes along with that as well. So he doesn't oppose any of that. What have we learned? We've learned that the MKP, we've learned that the MKP it's tribalistic. He alluded to that a little bit, Floyd, that there is this issue of tribalism within the MKP. He didn't come out and say it clearly, but you know, he did insinuate it and all that. I don't think that's not a hidden secret. Everybody knows that. He alluded to, what else did you learn from this press conference? That the EFF is a cult, you know, and after all that is said and done, he's not going to go back to the EFF. He's not going to go and join the ANC. What he's going to do is going to start a political party. I don't know why these people, they always like to say, we're going to consult and ask people, should we start a political party? Eventually, we know that Floyd is going to start a political party. There's no way his pride won't let him go back to the EFF. He might not even be welcome there. His pride won't let him go to the ANC, you know. He might not be welcome there as well. You know what I mean? So yes, he's going to start a political party. And we already got lots and lots of political parties in South Africa. Many small parties. And most of them after the elections, they die out and all those things. In fact, you should just not waste everybody's time. Just go and start your political party. The local government elections are starting next year. Prepare now. Rather than going around and say, I'm going to consult ZCC, I'm going to consult Shembe, I'm going to consult Keza Mutaum, Petrus Motsepe, Ivan Koza, all these people that he mentioned in his press and all those things. So, yeah, these are the things that came out of the presser today as Floyd Shivambo was addressing the press conference. No surprises, some surprises here and there, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Floyd Shivambo is officially out of the MKP party. And the reasons that were given for him to be expelled from the party or to be removed, or for him to leave the party, let me put it that way, are not genuine reasons. It was just for him to be frustrated and for him to be removed. He was never welcomed within the MKP party. Let me know what you think about this press. Let me know what you think about my analysis. If you agree, if you disagree. And if be so kind and subscribe and like. Thanks for those who've been supporting us. And hope to see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.